Here is a tutorial that I'm having to redo because my previous one's sound was completely choppy for our lesson 1. So this kind of covers the basics as you guys are opening up Photoshop. So let's kind of switch over. If you're looking at the digital book or if you have a hard copy, all of you have the digital book on our D2L. So you can open up to page 12, which is where you're opening the document. So you're going to go up here to File, and then you're going to go to Open, and you're going to open up Lesson File 1, and you're going to open up this file called Arch. Now, this file here, this O1 end, this is what your file should look like. It'll be as close to it as possible. Now, a few of you have asked if you can create variations. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with a variation if it skips over something that you're supposed to learn, but if you want to choose a different color, that's fine. You have to remember that in a digital creation setting, more importantly, whenever you're working with clients or vendors, specifics are specifics, and you're going to work with hexadecimal codes in this project, and you're going to eventually work with PMS, Pantone colors, so you want to make sure to be able to match exactly what somebody wants. So I'm okay with variations as long as you disclose that you'll be doing that. So, okay. So here we are. We're opening up lesson 1. O1 end is what it'll look like. But we are going to start with this file. So you can see here, this is what we're starting with, and this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this one up. So you're going to go up to File, and you're going to hit New. Now, up here, you've got a couple of different variations of templates that are created. You can always go in here and modify on your own. Your width, height, resolution, size, your color mode, if it's a digital or if it's a print image, background, all of that. But you can use these templates. So if we kind of click through here and we go over to film and video, you're going to see the example that they give in the book, which is HD TV 1080p. This is a 1920 by 1080 at 72 ppi. If you were to turn this to its 90-degree angle, it's just like the same as a social story or a reel size, right? But this is really common for digital video. So we're going to go ahead and stick with this one. So we're going to hit create. So actually before that, I'm going to go ahead and do this. We're going to go to save as. You can also do your shortcut here. And we're going to save this as O1 working. I had saved one as Schaefer_O1 before. I'm fine with whatever you name it, but it's easier for me when I sort and I'm grading to look at your last names. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file. This will allow me to see it with all of its layers active. Don't flatten. Whatever you do, just don't flatten your stuff. So we'll get into that more, but O1 working.psd, right? Okay, so we are going to go to place embedded, and we're going to click that arch file right here. Okay, we're going to hit place. Now you're going to see it's going to drop it into here. What we're going to do is we're going to want to take this bounding box and we're going to expand it. There's a couple different things. So I'm on a Mac, right? So if I grab the corner and I pull on its own, I can move up and down, side to side. This was new a couple of years ago. So if you have an older version of Photoshop, when you do this, it'll go completely wonky. It will resize to what you're doing and not to a specific size. It'll be like this. Like if I hold shift, see that? That's what it used to do naturally, and we would hold shift to expand, but then they changed it at one point, so it took us a while to get used to it. So by doing this, this expands. You can see that bottom right corner isn't moving, and it's moving this one here. Now the other option is if you hold the Option key on a Mac, see how it pulls and expands on each side. So that's that. So you'll learn your short codes and you'll learn how to use your pinky finger, for a lot of these things. But so right now what we're going to do is we're going to try to expand this so that it fits into the entire page. So you can see it kind of overlaps there. You can either hit your arrow, you can hit shift, you can use your move tool. That's kind of what they want you to move in here, is dragging handles and using your move tool. But once we get it to where we need it, we're going to go up here to this checkbox. You can also hit enter and hit that. I'm going to bring my screen down a little bit so I can make sure that you guys can see. I have a lot of files open, so I apologize. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay. So we went ahead and did that. The bounding box disappears once we hit that button, right? So there's a lot of things here. You've got your tools panel. That your move tool is incredibly common. We're going to be using the rectangular marquee tool in this. If you go down to color picker or eyedropper, we're going to be doing that one. Lots of different things. So this is your toolbar. This is pretty much everything for creating, and editing your documents. Your options bar, that's got you can also click in here and see. If you click and hold, you get a couple of different versions of stuff here. Document tabs, down here you can kind of see what the size is. I think we're going to tap into that in a moment. And obviously your menu bar, and you got everything else over here. So we'll go through that. Properties panel, your taskbar, everything. So you can read a little bit more about that in your lesson 1 book. But if we want to jump to the next piece, let's go ahead and look and see what we've got here. So we've got our tools, and what we're going to do is we're going to get started with this. We are going to look at our zoom level. So see, we're at 100%, and here's our size. We're going to want to look at zooming in. So let's go over here. Let me click away. We're going to go over here to our magnifying glass tool, right here, our little zoom tool. We're going to grab that. We're going to click it once, and you can see how it changes to a plus sign. We're going to click here, see how it zooms in. Okay, and then we are going to hold Option to be able to zoom out. That's on a Mac. On a PC, I think you hit Alt, and so you're going to be kind of going in and out. You can also hold and drag, and then it does all this fun, crazy stuff. So we just wanted to get a little bit closer. You're going to position the pointer anywhere on the canvas, and you're going to drag that zoom tool. So you'll see it enlarging, obviously. You want it to fit screen. So let's take a look. See up here, fit screen? Let's do that. That'll give you its maximum size across the side. All right, so as we work through this lesson, you're going to kind of follow the steps. Sometimes they may make you undo it, but it's all to just kind of teach you the different things that are going on. So let's make a new layer, right? If you can't tell already, down here is our layers tab. So we are going to go right down here, and we are going to click create a new layer, right? And there it is, layer 1. We're going to call this rectangles. Okay, rectangles. You can hit enter. That locks in that name. So let's take a look also at our measurements. We are going to go up to edit preferences. Let's pull up here. Edit under preferences, or somewhere there's our presets, color settings. For some reason my preferences wasn't popping up. If you're ever looking for something like it's not popping up, I might have hidden it. You can do this. Preferences. Okay, let's see. Okay, there it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our unit of measurements. I changed this earlier, so it might already be modified under units and rulers. Yeah, I have it at pixels. So it was previously at inches. You can switch that over. You can modify that anytime, obviously. But we're going to go ahead and use this and click OK. Boop. All right, so in the tools, we're going to go grab our rectangular marquee. Let me close that out. If you see it, this right here is our rectangular marquee tool. All right, helps you make selections. So we are going to, oh yeah, let me do something else. When you open up your file, sorry, I'm going to cut away to a clip of when I first opened this file and I didn't record it incorrectly. We have guides, and your guides are viewing. Let's see, show guides. Okay, so you see this? This is what your file would have looked like when you opened it up. These guides, these help you kind of keep things in track. So say you're making a brochure, or you're working on a flyer, you use guides like this and your bleeds and slugs and everything to be able to say, hey, we don't want text past this because it's most likely going to get cut off, or there's a big chance that whenever we slice these pages, it'll get knocked off. But you can also use it just to keep your items straight, or be able to lock it to your ruler and be able to see it. So you'll see that later. So what it's wanting you to do, it wants you to take your pointer all the way up here in this top corner, and I want you to drag down. So you're going to stay within this first line here. See that? It kind of snaps to it. Those are like snap to grids and snap to guides and stuff. So, so you're going to drag that piece. Now you're going to fill it. So we're going to go to layers panel. We're going to go here to rectangles. All right. And then you are going to apply a fill color. So up here, oh, there it is. I'm going to move it up so you can see it just in case. So right here, this gives a couple of options. You're going to click this one here, this fill color, and you're going to hit fill color, right? It's going to contain a certain color. Cool. Boop. Okay, so right here, you're going to want to select a color that'll be in here. Now, they give you a hexadecimal code, a 6-digit numerical and like letter code that makes up certain colors on the chart. So you can see down here, as it moves, it creates so many different versions. If anyone used to have MySpace, we were very, very thorough in learning our hexadecimal codes. So it gives you the RGB value of FF7F00. Now, if you want to be an absolute wizard, you can kind of go like this and see if you can find it all by yourself. Kudos to you. I did it in the first video, so I'm actually incredibly sad that I'm not able to really redo that right now. F7F00. Okay, so there you are. So there is your orange color. Now, sometimes if you're having a tough time or you're not able to, whatever, you can look right there in the HSB, the hue, saturation, balance, and then the RGB, red, green, blue. You can match those colors if you want. Now, CMYK, when you get into print, that's where those things come into play. So you'll learn all about that. But here's your orange color, right? So, okay. And we're going to say, okay. Now, we're going to deselect like that. And that takes the selection off, and now we have this fabulous, wonderful orange bar. Now we're going to make a blue rectangle, so we're going to get that marquee tool again. So let's go over here. Got it, it's already active. We are going to drag kind of towards where the trees dip down. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to go like this. I think we're right around here. Now, you can visually use it, or you can look right here. Do you see that little box, the width and the height? All right, so they want you to go 660 pixels by 1080. Okay, so the height of ours is 1080. We got that. So we need 660. If you drag this way, you drag this way, you're going to find that sweet spot. Right about, oh, there. And we're going to let go. So it's going to want this one as a value of 0053B2. So we're going to do this again. Fill color. And we're going to say 0053B2. Say okay and okay. And there it is right there, right? Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we deselected. We're going to save this file, all right? So we can do, if you're on a Mac, Command S, that saves, right? We're going to still save it as a Photoshop. You can always go up to File, Save, Save As. It's active that way. All right, so next thing we're going to do is in the Layers panel. So, okay, so in that file I was showing you before, you know, the colors aren't solid. They don't look like this. So this is where your fabulous, wonderful Layers panel comes into play, and you're going to be changing your blending modes. This is one of my favorite things about Photoshop. It makes it it's just wonderful. So, for example, let's go over here. Right here is a drop-down box with all kinds of different things. You can already see it changing, right? This helps you give a little bit of an illusion of not that solid color, but I think we go down to darken. Which one did we use? Let me take a look. So if you use these blending modes, you're not destroying the image. So that orange and that blue is not embedded and stuck into the image. It's on top of it. So you can change these things without destroying anything underneath. So let's go ahead and take a look here, and we are going to choose color. So we're going to drop down here. We're going to go all the way down towards the bottom. See how certain things change. One of my favorite ones is multiply. I love multiply. I use that soft light a lot, but down here we have color. So you can see it gave it a little bit of kick there. So this layer says color, right? This one, normal. But this color right here, we're going to leave it at 100%, but you know, if you were to change it, it could still do stuff like that, make it a little subtle or stronger. So that's there. Okay, so now we're going to do type. So if you go over here and get your type tool, right? we are going to look at the text bar. Font selections, you can always click there and drag up and down. You can also go like this, up and down with your arrow. Let's see if I can get back to the one that I had. I'll use that one, whatevs. So we are going to, we're going to pick a font. We use the Abro, right? So you can always type to ABR. You have that here. We're going to use regular. Now, this type tool, you can do a couple of things. You can click and then it starts writing on the line. You can click and drag and making like a text box. But for here, all they want you to do is they want you to take your piece and you want you to size it to 210. Cool. It stays sharp. It's regular. We're good. All right. And then we are going to choose to center it. It's already there. I think mine, when it first started, it was on the other side, but we've got our text centered. And then we are going to specify it to be solid white. And so you can move this over. It's also FFFFFFFF. So there you go. All right, cool. So now we are going to click on that tool, the horizontal type tool, right below the center of the canvas. Now just FYI, same thing. You can click on this type tool and there's a couple of different versions, but yeah, we're going with horizontal. So we are going to click on this one right below the center of the canvas. So let's just do this and we'll go here, right? So new type layer appears. It always pops up with lorem ipsum. I will tell you the saddest thing ever is to have finished a design and somewhere on it find lorem ipsum, which means you clicked somewhere a text layer and you forgot to delete it and it printed and everything is sad and crazy. But you know what? It happens to everybody. So just, it's kind of like welcoming you to design. So you'll, so in that end file, it's all capital letters. Fun fact, if you type in caps, it's going to be in caps. But if you type normally and add this right here, this is the all caps button, it'll change it back. So man, it saved me a lot of the time from copy editing. So just write normally and then hit that button there. So you want to make sure it's on because in our end file, they were in all caps. And we are going to type history 301, okay? HISTORY 301. Okay, now we've got the all caps. We don't need to use shift or caps lock or anything. In the option bar up here, we're going to click OK. Now, that clearly didn't click up at 210. So here's what you can do. You can highlight that piece. You can click 210 and hit enter, and there you go. That's fixed. So we deselected that layer. Let's center it properly. It'll probably click to the guides. We use this move tool here. We drag it around. You'll see those guides pop up, and they're like, it's perfectly centered. So right there, perfectly centered. My goodness. We can change, we can change the text and everything in there. Once you click on it and you start moving around, if you have the text tool on, you can change everything from there. But the next one is that we're going to do the horizontal text line again. And we are going to select another font and we're going to do the Acumen. So we're going to go down here and do this one. Undo is Command Z, or what is it, Alt Z, I think, on the Windows. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to click another line down here. I'm going to change that to Acumen. We are going to be at 165, right? Double checking that. Yeah, we're good. And we are going to write live stream. If I use the right key. And we're going to type LIVESTREAM. Okay? So when we do that, it's in all caps because we applied it. And then we're going to hit the check mark because we're done. Now, with this one, I think they wanted it right aligned, but then we end up moving it. Yeah, okay, so it's right aligned, and then we are going to move it over. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to line it up as much as I want to, but I am going to put it right here and let it live there. Maybe a little lower. Right there. Okay, so check mark is done. We're good. Now we're going to do a solid color layer. So you can fill a layer with green like we did earlier. We did the rectangles, but we're going to quickly add this layer of solid color. So in the layers panel, right, we've been there before, in the layers panel, we're going to create a new fill or adjust layer. So you'll see that right here. Create new fill or adjust layer. Okay, and we're going to do that as solid color. Boop. Great. So now we are going to use an RGB value of 0C3303. Okay, so that's done. We can move this kind of off our artboard. So next, all right, so we are going to be adding in another solid color layer. So let's go to our arch, okay? When we do this and we create this new layer, it's gonna add it right above it. So we're gonna create a new fill or adjustment layer, and we're gonna call it a solid color, right? And we're going to, it's a green color, so it's gonna be kind of like around here somewhere, 0C33. So it's 0C3303, right? So that's it there. Now we're going to change that blending mode. So we're going to go down to hard light, and then we're going to drop this down to about 90%, right? So that's that. That brings in a solid color layer. It gives you those three colors that are similar to that end file you were looking at. And now we can go ahead and turn these cyan guides off since we've done with the rectangles. So we're going to go to View, and we're going to go to Show, and we're going to turn off the guides. And there those are. Those are gone. So we're going to sample a color because we're going to paint an element, right? So painting an element, we're going to use our little paintbrush over here. So let's take a look. We're going to get the eyedropper tool. That is right over here. Yeah, I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool, and we're going to click a light blue area. So find that cloud. Boop. We're going to go with that one. You'll see how it's a little bit different. See how it moves over on that right side? So we can pick something brighter, something lighter. I'm cool with doing whatever right here. So say we grab that one. We're going to, let's go to the rectangles one right here. I'm going to go that. And then we are going to hold down Option as we create a new layer. Option, and then we're going to hit Create a New Layer. See that? That makes our new layer already. We are going to name this one Paint, P-A-I-N-T. Okay, we're going to check all the settings, make sure it's good, and then we're going to hit OK. Now, next part, we're going to go to Window. Okay, we're going to take a look at brushes. There's your brushes panel, right? Now, they ask for special effects brushes. Is that what they ask for? Brushes? Yeah, special effects brushes, right? And then we are going to find Kyle's splatter brushes, splatter bot tilt. So if we take a look, Kyle's scattered brushes, let's see if this is its hold. Okay, sounds pretty good. Now we need to change, we're going to drag it across the word that says live to paint a few strokes, and we're going to build up that splatter effect. Let's see if they want to change the size yet. I don't think they do. Okay, so we're just going to try it out like this, so you can kind of see it happening right there. All right, so the other option is that you're gonna modify the size and such here. So we're gonna do undo. So you can always go up to Edit, Undo Brush Tool, or you can hit Command Z. So there it is. Command Z to get rid of. Command Shift Z to bring it back on a Mac, right? So we undo the brush tool. JK, we just did. And so with the tool still being selected, we're going to go to the option bar. That is right here. All right, so with that brush tool selected, we're going to go ahead and change the brush preset to 80. And you can always go here and go straight down to exactly 80. Edit, toggle last state. Yes, thank you. So you can kind of see that that's there. And yeah, so Control Z, Command Option Z, all that fun stuff. So we're going to leave that one there where it is. And then we're going to extend this image a bit. So we are going to go up here to this panel, and we are going to our Move tool, right? And we're going to go Auto Select Layer. Okay, you can turn it on. I had it on earlier. You can turn it off. This way, it's normally if you click it, it's like it grabs the layer that's on the canvas that's closer to you pretty much, but without it, it'll let you grab what your layer is kind of attached to. So we're going to do that with the arch layer, right? So right here, when we do that, it lets us move that back one. If we wouldn't have done it, and if we would have auto select, it has us move the graphic or different layers. It jumps around, see? So now that we have the arch layer, and we're going to make sure that's not clicked, we're going to move it around. So we want to be able to have it where it's centered within the green area, right? So we're going to take a look here. So we're going to say there's a green area. Here's where it's kind of centered. It's kind of got an overlap. Make sure it's not there. Okay, that's you know what, close enough. So then you can hold down the Alt and you can see how to hide all these layers. So I can hit Option and I can click this and it hides everything else but that layer. So that's a really good shortcut to learn. So if you hold it again, you hold on the Mac an Option and just click one layer, it does that. So that's that. That's what it looks like now. Here's what it's looking like now. So now we're going to get this rectangular little tool right here, and we're still on arch. We're going to drag a little overlay here. See that? We're going to do generative fill. All right. This stuff's crazy. I mean, in the past, you had to clone and copy and all this, and now this tiny little wizard button just says, hey, does this look good? And you're like, what? And it's like 3 versions. You can keep going. It's just crazy. You can get super specific, but right now we're just going to do a generative fill. We are not going to fill anything. We're going to hope that this thing can figure that out for us. And since that arch layer, you can see it's generating, it's getting itself together. Okay, so it gave us this version, but you can see here, gives you a couple different variations. So it really is up to your preference. If you want it like that, or like this, or like that. I think I'm just gonna go with this, you know, for the whatever. So that's how that piece, it's just crazy. It changes everything. So in the properties panel, we can go and see which one we like the most, which is awesome. And that's that. Like, that's it. Like, look, you're done. Isn't that crazy? So this is where you would hit save on your O1 working file, and I would just expect you to turn that in. So you can always compare what it looks like and how, you know, close you got to the end file. I'm not looking for it crazy exact, but I am just making sure that you're going through these steps and not just turning in the end file as a renamed working file. Please don't do that. Other than that, I hope this helps. I'm going to do a couple more. I'm sorry, my whole setup kind of got a little wonky with Barrel. But other than that, I hope this helps you and have a great rest of your evening.